The true state of a nation, and with these ongoing student protests reaching fever pitch and highlighting a deeper concern, bigger issues ranging from corruption to a weakened economy and joblessness, the scope of these protests has been broadened. I'm joined now by Leanne Govindsamy, head of Legal and Investigations and Corruption Watch, which opened its doors in 2012. And in 2013, the Schools Campaign was launched to raise awareness about the mismanagement of schools' resources. Leanne, thank you very much for coming in. Thanks for your time. So corruption at schools, and I think the timing of this is apt because of what we've been seeing at our institutions of higher learning. So talk us through corruption at schools. What is really the concern?
Well, this morning we launched a report called The Loss of Principle, a Corruption Watch report into schools corruption. And the main concern, and from the data and the investigations that have come out of what we've done, is principals' involvement in schools corruption. In our investigations, about 54% of the reports that we've received involve principals engaging in financial mismanagement. This is abuse of school resources, abuse of power, and they often work with SGBs in respect of this. Okay, so again, it's a question of leadership. It's a leadership issue. Why are we seeing that the main perpetrators then are principals? I think that there's a few reasons for this. I think, principals occupy a position of power in schools. In as much as the South African Schools Act says that the governance of schools is a partnership between school governing bodies and principals, we've seen that principals exert much more power than they should be. And parents and learners and the school governing bodies are also scared to stand up to them sometimes, scared to question, where is our annual budget? Why aren't we following our budget? Why are you making the appointments that you do or spending resources in the way that you do?
So then essentially your campaign is around educating parents and educating student governing bodies.
Yes.
What kind of role would they play then in ensuring that there is proper management of schools' resources?
Look, they play a massive role. SGBs are responsible for school governance. They are responsible to ensure that, auditors are appointed, that the school's financial records are kept a very close eye on. Parents are responsible also to come forward when they suspect that something is wrong in schools. And the same goes for learners. Learners are entitled from grade 8 upwards to be on a school governing body.
Yeah.
And they need to exercise their role in that way. We're seeing now the role of the youth in standing up against power, standing up against, lawlessness or corruption. And I think that this must extend into schools as well.
So then you would encourage then the aspect of whistleblowers. If your aim of the campaign is then to educate parents and educate student governing bodies, tell us about getting the whistleblowers encouraged to get out there and report mismanagement.
Look, our report contains the outcomes of 10 investigations.
Okay.
And the second section of the report contains whistleblower profiles. Some of them are anonymous and some of them have decided they actually want their names to be in the report. And I think by detailing their stories, their challenges, both personal and professional, they can inspire others to come forward. Other people who are sitting around thinking, what can I do? I've seen this, but I'm fearful or I have an issue. They can know that they can come forward to us, that we will keep their details confidential unless they want us to make them public. And they can see exactly what other people have gone through. And I think seeing those stories could inspire other courageous individuals to come forward.
Take us through some of the other trends of the data that you found through this campaign.
So we have 10 investigations in this report. 7 of them involve schools in Gauteng and 3 in KZN. What we've seen is that there's often collusion between principals and SGBs, SGB chairpersons in particular. We've seen things like the appointment of auditors who are actually benefiting from school resources. Maybe they have a company that benefits from the school. You've seen that basic resources are rather kind of used for the principal's purposes rather than the school's purposes. And those are the kinds of things that have come out. We ultimately want all provinces to come forward with the reports. We can only investigate what we receive. So the fact that we're investigating in Gauteng and KZN means we're getting more reports from there. and good quality reports. So.
And finally then, some of the recommendations on achieving good governance in schools.
I think, we've discussed capacity building and training. It's essential. Provincial departments have a budget to ensure that there's this training, and I think that parents and SGB members must demand this training, and they must demand that the training is adapted for them. Often we've seen training being rolled out in provinces, but people are too scared to stand up and say, actually, this procurement, I really don't understand what you're saying and what you expect from me. And I think ultimately we're saying that in respect of recommendations, the power is really in the hands of the SGBs and the learners and the parents. You need to educate yourselves. We've got resources in our report. Use those resources. Find out ways in which you can address this issue and take it up. So, those are some of our recommendations.
Leanne Govindsamy, Head of Legal and Investigations at Corruption Watch, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.